Do you find yourself staring at objects, wondering whether to pick them up, use them, combine them, or simply view them? Do you regularly find labyrinthine solutions for simple day-to-day problems that involve absolutely all of your possessions? And you, my friend, are an adventure game fan. We feel that. We're adventure game fans too. And what luck! We've just rustled together all of our favourite indie adventure games from recent times, using a lasso made from the bubblegum we used to get an imprint of the key to the door containing the wax print, which we needed got locked in there. Here's the games. They're not all Versus Evil titles, they're just the adventure games that we got the chance to play and that delighted us. So let's roll them out. Thimbleweed Park rekindles the pixel art and interface from early 90s adventure gaming with a tale of shadowy agents descending on a small town to investigate a body in a ditch. It might look a bit like a 16-bit Twin Peaks meets X-Files simulator at first glance, which is no bad thing of course, but this is a resolutely sillier game than those references suggest. I mean, one of the playable characters is literally a circus clown called Ransom. Gritty isn't really in his repertoire.
You up the... Come on!
We're professionals here, so we went back and triple checked that Kentucky Route Zero wasn't just a dream we had before making this video. But no, we're pretty certain this is a real game about an antique shop delivery man and his dog exploring a magical Kentucky netherworld. Never has such a thick atmosphere been created with such a minimal art style, and a few haunting synths for company. The story floats by without a second thought for reason, and although we're still not altogether sure why we tuned a broken TV to the sound of cosmic hums, or limped around a flooded mine accompanied by ghosts, well, we're certainly glad we did. First appearances can often give a false impression, can't they? Just as it would be unwise to make sweeping value judgments about the prose within a book based purely upon the design and messaging of its cover, the unassuming look of the little acre might trick you into thinking it wasn't absolutely excellent. Not so. Once again summoning a different, better time when adventure gaming ruled the waves, what we have here is the story of Aiden's search for his dad in a magical world, while his daughter Lily goes after her dad. Intergenerational adventuring with the legendary Charles Cecil as exec producer. How's that for an elevator pitch? Okay, time for one of ours now. You might have seen something of a trend developing in this list. A little wisp of 90s nostalgia dancing between all of our picks. It's only natural really, that decade was the golden age of pointing and clicking on things, and Claymation Curio the Neverhood released right at its peak in 1996. 2017's Armacrog is a spiritual successor that harnesses claymation just as expertly, delivering a pretty bizarre adventure if we're completely honest. I mean, look at Tommyknot's canine companion Beak Beak. In Armacrog's world, this is a dog. We rest our case. OXENFREE lulls you into thinking you might be playing a kind of interactive teen drama of the like Freddie Prinze Jr. or James Van Der Beek might once have found themselves in. And then, just as you're waiting for someone called Chad to show up and accuse you of macking on his girl, the teen drama transforms into a supernatural adventure. Neat trick. OXENFREE's sharp writing and dreamy, not quite reality vibes linger throughout, and it's got some nice ideas about timing your dialogue choices and giving you the choice to interrupt people that make each conversation feel organic.
If it's cool, we can get the others, and if it's not, we'll just leave.
Okay, stop as if you've heard this one. You wake up on a foreboding spaceship with no idea how you got there, and there are no other survivors around to ask. Alright, so the setup in Stasis might not be a mind-bending departure from all that came before it in video games kind, but the peculiar blend of sci-fi horror and old-school point-and-clickery is certainly fresh. Puzzles are satisfying without ever bogging you down in the mire, and the atmosphere, a must-have in adventure gaming, is so thick you could drink it. Only, you don't want to drink it because, well, look at it. Do you want a game that's more interested in serving up an emotional response than a convoluted puzzle? Then we recommend you visit the tragic and architecturally improbable FINCH Family Home. Some people would call What Remains of Edith Finch a walking sim, and we'd respond to those people by saying, yeah, what of it? And getting all defensive, because we love the slow-burning storytelling and non-taxing puzzles here. You might not get a rigorous brain workout from its many set pieces, but you will be left with a feeling you can't shake.
I was a cat!
Gone Home is the alpha and omega of new school adventure games, where inventory slots and labyrinthine puzzles can go hang, and where building a sense of place is held up above all else. You can choose to enjoy it as a bit of virtual tourism and re-immerse yourself in 1993's video game cartridges, journals, mixtapes and decor choices. Or you can humour its creeping horror notes and treat this like an amnesia game, until it eventually shows its hand and reveals itself to be a tender visual essay on adolescence and identity, told by the incidental objects of a 90s family home.
Dear Katie, so much has changed.
Have you ever played a game that made you question your career choices? If you answered no, then you haven't played Firewatch, friend. Despite looming conspiracy, the danger to your life, the acrid smoke, and a vast forest fire drawing ever nearer, something about Hank's existence in Wyoming National Park seems seductively cozy and attractive. Waking up in your quaint cabin, surveying the gorgeous scenery from on high, trying not to dwell on the raging inferno too much, and then heading out for the day chatting with your buddy Delilah on the walkie-talkie. If you don't think that sounds wonderful, then you haven't worked nights in the meat aisle of a supermarket.
No.
Oh crikey, where do we begin with this one? SAMOROST is a game, we're pretty sure, and in that game you click on things? Honestly, we're not being obtuse, it's just that Amanatya Design's games, well, they're a bit freeform. No dialogue, no real idea what you're supposed to be doing, just wondrous, surrealist scenery and occasional breakthroughs. Despite being completely unable to tell you what's happening here, or here, and definitely not here, we're still enraptured by the perfectly formed strangeness of it all. Since the medium of video doesn't allow high fives, why not drop us a thumbs up instead? And if you know someone who still quotes all the lines from the insult sword fights in Monkey Island, well, you know where the share button is. We'll see you next time.